Hey guys, so I was recording this really cute look and I'm pissed because I thought it was recording and it wasn't. I don't know what happened, but I'm just going to give you a talk through beforehand anyways. I had already done my brows, and if you've been following me for a while, you know I primed my lid with LA Girl Pro Concealer in Toffee, and then I just patted that over the entirety. Then I took my NYX eyeshadow base in white, and I kind of blended that on top just to make these colors pop even more. And for the eye look, I used two Juvia's Place palettes, the Juvia's Masquerade palette and the Magic palette. To begin, I went in with the transition shade, not this one. I went in with the Magic palette. I used the transition shade Nana, I believe. This warm orange tone, brown, red, orange, or whatever color. And I did that in the crease as my transition shade. Then I went in with the Masquerade palette. And I began with the center shade, which is this pink. And I patted that on the lid. These colors are pretty pigmented, which is why I really like Juvia's Place. And I patted that on the lid nice and neatly. And then I went in my outer V. I used this orange shade on the outer V of my eye. And I blended that in, and I went back and swept with a fluffy brush to blend the two together, like so, which is pretty easy and self-explanatory. I blended it into the transition shade because I wanted the eyes to pretty much speak for themselves, as far as not doing like precise, you know, like a half-cut crease or anything like that. And then lastly, I went back in with the Magic palette, and I used Nubia in the inner corners. And I'm going to be doing that same pattern underneath my eye. But I'm going to go ahead and do my foundation using MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation in the shade NC50. And I just put a little bit of that on the back of my hand. And it's pretty good as far as full coverage. So I'm just going to sweep that over the top. Pretty good with full coverage. So I start in the darkest area, which is around my mouth, to make sure that it gets covered pretty well. And then I just make my way around the entirety of my face. And I use a stippling brush, which is what I've been using since I ever started makeup. And I just blend it into the hairline. I know a lot of people use beauty blenders to blend their foundation, but I've been doing this using the brush for a while, so I'll just stick with it. And another thing about with Juvia's Place palettes, they don't have a lot of fallout, which is awesome. So you don't really have to, like the bottom, I don't have much leave out at all. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is just where I swept on top of this eyeshadow base when I was doing my outer V. I'm not my outer V, but you know what I'm saying, my outer eye. But since I'm going to be dragging that color to the bottom, it kind of really doesn't even matter. Then I'm going to go ahead and use Toffee for my under eye. You know what? I'm going to switch it up. For one, I don't have my NC 45 in front of me. I'm going to go in. I only use this one time, the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer. Now, this is some good stuff. It is very, very good as far as coverage. But the thing is, you have to work with this stuff quick. So once you put it on, You kind of have to go ahead and blend. And the only thing I will say about it is it has a very peculiar smell. It smells like paint to me. I don't know if anybody else has used this. And then one more thing with Kat Von D. Like, I freaking loved her. Like, I used to watch LA Ink all the time. And I just fell in love with her. But, my kids are getting fussed at because school starts back tomorrow and they won't go to sleep. But my oldest, she will feel it in the morning. Okay, I'm back, y'all. This stuff is already about dry. It's kind of like, oh, I had to wet my beauty blender. It's kind of like Estee Lauder's like I forgot what this stuff's called, y'all. But the name, like I said, is pretty much self-explanatory. Lock it, I mean, I guess like locked into place. So you gotta pretty much work with this stuff fast. And it's probably smart to do it like one spot at a time. Because as you already can tell, like it's thickening or stiffening up. You guys miss me patting all that in. I set it using the Airspun Loose Face Powder just under the eye so it wouldn't crease. And then I contoured with my MAC eyeshadow in the shade Embark, which I like for a more natural kind of everyday contour. Otherwise, I would use a black opal foundation stick, and it gives it that really pretty like Instagram baddie look. But just for an everyday sort of look, I think this will work. And then I'm gonna pop on these Eyelure lashes, and I'm gonna just repeat everything I did on my lid at the bottom. Probably not even using a eyeshadow base, because when I use that white eyeshadow base, it kind of like gets into my creases and make them pop more than they should. My eye is just weird like that, like it just whatever. So I'm just gonna take those same shades and pop them at the bottom. Feels so weird. And then we're gonna go in with that orange.